This lovely morning, the 7th day of May 2025. My name is Ajubuchuku.
And I am Ijoma Uche. A very good morning to you and welcome. Today is Wednesday. Unapotahula. Kekuno me ndi Anambra. Unana kwadokwa. Unumana iga anabata nnukwu onye ọbịa echi. Kedu ka ọ dị? Daalụ nụ.
Thank you. And then we'll continue when we come back from this short break. Don't go anywhere. The show is about to begin. We begin the show by bringing to you news making rounds on ABS websites. And the first news we have for you this morning, President Tinubu visits Anambra tomorrow, the 8th day of May.
NSCDC mobilizes 1,531 operatives ahead of President Tinubu's visit to Anambra, beefs up security around critical assets and infrastructure.
Police hunt for suspected killers of pregnant woman found hanging on tree along Uke, Ideani Road.
A farming season, farmers in Anambra State seek government support to tackle food insecurity.
Anambra CP Orotugu happy with successes recorded in crime fighting.
Nigeria's second as 40th African Wrestling Championship ends in Casablanca, Morocco.
Sudan cut diplomatic ties with UAE over alleged support to RSF.
And then AFCON under 20, Nigeria tackles Kenya today.
Woman in court in Australia for murdering three former in-laws. That's more like a black widow there. And that's all we have for you on the ABS website, news making rounds on ABS websites. That's good to know. And quickly, let's talk about the president's visit tomorrow. IJ, you can see your environment is wearing a new look.
Oh, no. I'm so excited. I was actually thinking that he will come and visit us here and maybe take our time to address the state. Say, I want to use your local station to address the state. When would that happen? Okay, sometimes that's need for you to also build in grassroots relationship, okay? And but let me give it to the government. You're doing very well. I was driving in this morning. Okay, I drove home last night, yesterday evening, through the Ekweme Square Road. Okay, Government Boulevard now, okay? And then as I was coming this morning, I saw new things. I saw some guys very early in the morning, after 6. Oh, guy, what do they do here now? We slept here, okay? And then the road is wearing very new looks, beautiful markings, and a whole lot of things that I was wondering. This is good. Sometimes it's good to be hosting presidents. And then maybe he will plan to be coming maybe quarterly.
Quarterly, yeah. That would be really interesting because you can imagine the facelift the state will be wearing with such...
All the fences around this road, that's Ekweme Road, everywhere beautifully done, marked, painted, and a whole lot of things still going on this morning. Maybe by the end of today, that place will be looking like the road to White House in America.
Exactly. And that's the way it should be. Quickly, let's see. Sudan cut diplomatic ties with UAE over alleged support to RSF. Somehow, within the past 3 to 4 years, African leaders seems to be, taking the bull by the horn by maybe talking to, taking ownership of certain, let's say, decisions they take for the interest of their country.
Yes,
We've seen that in sub-Saharan Africa with Mali, Burkina Faso.
Yeah, the Sahel region.
Yeah, and now we are hearing Sudan cutting diplomatic ties with UAE of all countries. You understand?
Actually, I think there's a silent revolution that is going on in Africa. Okay, some people tagged it Africa Rising, okay? So if you're an African, you should watch out. If you are an African and your nation is still lagging behind, you should watch out. The thing just, springs like
a wildfire.
Like a wildfire, just like that, and before you know it, a whole lot of things will be happening at the same time. Okay. Otherwise, Sudan of all people you will never know will do this, like you said.
Cutting ties with.
But then it does appear.
A major Islamic nation like UAE.
You know. Allow me, I can stand on my own now. It don't drag me too much. Okay, and but I think they're taking lead from what the Sahel regions, the young guys in the Sahel region are doing. You know, and let me be honest with you. I think I like it. Okay, you can't keep babying us. Exactly. We need to grow up. Allow us to grow. Okay, yeah. We're tired of this baby's formula. I want to eat apple, want to eat a bar, you know, abado, and all. We want to be strong on our own. You know. Yeah. I think it's a good thing.
That's good. Quickly, let's go to the papers for review this morning. Talking about the first paper we have here is the Daily Sun, and then outrage over massive failure in 2025 UTME results. While stakeholders say outcome wake-up call to address decay in education system. I think I concur with that. Now, the banner headline of the Daily Sun is saying, insecurities, Senate brand situation, bleeding wounds. And then we have the writers there saying, vows to prioritize fight against insecurity and hunger. Nigerians expect results, not rhetoric, Akpabio tells lawmakers. And then we have...
What is he saying there? On security?
Okay. As the Nigerians expect results and not rhetoric.
He should be talking to the security agency, the head of security
tells lawmakers. Senate constitute 18-member committee to oversee emergency rule in Rivers. And then we have Edo Assembly Speaker, local government chairman, orders defect to APC. Wow. Police CSOs petition reps ICPC over alleged 6 billion contract splitting. Catholic cardinals call for nationwide ceasefire ahead of conclave. Nationwide ceasefire. I mean, worldwide ceasefire. Okay, let's see how that goes.
Ceasefire got to do with. Okay,
the election of the Pope, you know it's today.
Okay, so there shouldn't be a war anywhere in the whole world. Okay, that's a good one. I hope the fire will continue to cease after the election of the Pope. Okay, let's move on and look at the Daily Times newspaper. The front page of the Daily Times newspaper used to be very clean, but these days it appears to be very busy, just like Guardian. Okay, EFCC traces 300,000 laundered money to arrested Yahoo boy suspects. And then Delta Speaker 21 order PDP members defect to APC. We saw it coming. We called it mass movement yesterday, and one of our guests, Fortis, said nobody is moving with them. Okay, Nigeria, Brazil forge new aviation links, target direct flights, aircraft leasing. This is the banner headline on the front page of the Daily Times newspaper. Any other story of interest? Okay, down here, faster implementation of SARS will lead to faster transformation of Nigerian economy. Who said that? To whom? And on what occasion? Professor Banji Oyelaran Oyeyinka, can you call that name? They're your brothers. And the SSA to the president on industrialization, AFDB. I think that's all we need to take here. Let's move on.
Okay, quickly, let's go to the next paper for review this morning, and that is the Punch newspaper. And the banner headline is screaming, rising insecurity. NAS ex-generals demand urgent military rearmament. And then we have Senate moves to tackle killings as retired military chiefs. Reps lament insurgents' use of sophisticated arms. Senate may pass tax bills today. Our panel to oversee IBAS. JAPA, UK considers tighter visa rules for Nigerians and Pakistanis. And then we have federal government kicks as Pat Utomi forms shadow, is that government? Can't say that. And then we have also here, defections. Okowa denies 500 billion refund claim as Oborewere visits Tinubu. Wow, I'm saying that this APC bandwagon mass movement, it will get to a point where the ship will begin to sink, or will I say internal implosion. It's definitely going to happen because egos will be bruised.
And when you overload the ship, definitely it's going to sink.
It's going to sink. So
everybody's jostling to APC for what they can get at the end.
No, to save their head from impending.
Okay, first of all, save their head,
exactly.
And then secondly, look for what else you can get. And when those aspirations are not coming, there's need for them to start looking for where to go again. Okay, I am ashamed of our politicians. I'm sorry to say this. Let's move on to the Daily Independent. Banner headline there say NAS to raise committee to restore democratic order in Rivers. How are you going to do that one? Okay, we are waiting. Okay, Kwankwaso joining APC will bring crisis to the party. Minister is saying this. We're already seeing it. A broad-based alliance rattling presidency, Atiku Abubakar. I want to see the alliance, and then as you form, you should be talking. You should form a formidable opposition. Other stories coming from here. Nnamdi Kanu with trial documents. The judge orders federal government lawyer. Federal government unveils 10-year plan to address power sector manpower shortage. With what? With what they have planted, the solar system they have planted in whatever. Okay, Astorok. We get over 1,800 loan applications from students daily. NELFund is saying this. So where is the money? Vatican faces defined moment as cardinals prepare to choose new pope. Governor Sule dispels fears of Nigeria drifting to one-party state. You guys are just jokers. Okay, another story here said lawyer storm NAS demand takeover of Benue Zamfara Assembly. Why? Benue Assembly rejects summons by NAS. Is that why they should take over? What? Oh, okay. When we'll start talking. Let's go.
Okay, quickly. Next for review this morning is This Day newspaper, and then we have NUPRC pledges support as ExxonMobil commits to $1.5 billion deep water investment. We have after disastrous local polls, Tory MPs meet to discuss ousting Kemi Badenoch. And that's, the banner headline is talking, with $75 budget benchmark concerns amount as oil price overs around $60. And then we have the writers there saying, Goldman Sachs, Barclays, Morgan Stanley / forecast. Nasima CPPE advised federal government to review budget projections. Analysts, lower oil price puts economy at risk, creates appetite for borrowing. NLC predicts more hardship for Nigerians. Wow. Man, NECA, Ndume, hail federal government Nigeria first policy. Predicts it will boost GDP by 56%, reduce unemployment by 37%. Atiku to Tinubu, trade your escalade for innocent to prove policy. Atiku to Tinubu, trade your escalade for innocent to prove policy. Okay. That's all we have for you on the front page of This Day newspaper.
Okay, and we'll move over to the Daily Trust. From the Daily Trust, we'll have the stories. Banner headline there, how import waivers are crippling local rice mills. How import waivers are crippling local rice mills. Other stories coming from here, insecurity. Nigeria is bleeding. Akpabio, 1 million children at risk of malnutrition in Borno, Adamawa, Yobe. Uromi killings, 40 days after. Families demand justice for slain hunters. Okay. How many people have they killed after the slain hunters' death? Okay, 6 killed in Fresh Plateau attack. Leadership tussle, 11 weeks after Osun local governments remain shut. And then Benue lawmakers reject National Assembly summons, threatening legal action. Whatever you want to do, you better start doing it before you are pushed out of your seat. Kano government directs local governments to release 670 million for Emir Sanusi's car. Even while Nigeria is bleeding.
While we are having 1 million children
at risk of malnutrition in Borno State. We are still talking about Adamawa and Yobe. We are still talking about cars for
670 million worth of vehicle.
Where we go?
Well, the next paper for review this morning, the Guardian newspaper. How insecurity middlemen drive up rice prices, forced meals shut down. That's the banner headline. And then we have UN worries over dwindling donor funding as 4.6 million face severe hunger in Northeast. Boko Haram, now deadlier, uses weaponized drones, says Borno reps. And then we have FMCG firms ride on Naira stability, grow profits by 100%. Lawmakers storm NAS, demand takeover of Benue, Zamfara assemblies. Senate gives over Uromi Gombe killings. Grieves over Uromi Gombe killings. Set for security summit amid concerns. Senate constitutes committee to oversee River Soul administrator. Defections. Delta Federal State lawmakers switch allegiance to APC as Tinubu meets Oboriwori. Why poverty is worsening in Nigeria by Obi. And we have over 75% of Lagos food supply from other states, says Lagos State government. Wow. So that means Lagos depends on the entire Nigeria for their daily supply when it has to do with, food supplies. That's interesting. 75%.
And the people all of us are depending on, hunger is killing their children up there.
Yeah, well, that is now talking about the summit that most of these papers are carrying around here. Why poverty is worsening in Nigeria. Senate reconstitute to oversee River Soul administration. Two things paramount in most of all these papers that we've reviewed this morning. Insecurity, hunger, and these are interwoven. They are overlapping. If you take care,
insecurity gave birth to hunger.
Yeah. If you take care of insecurity, every other thing concerning hunger will take care. If you take care of roads too, that's another aspect of it. But insecurity is the major issue. Major issue. Somebody was telling me how he spent 2 days traveling from Jalingo down to Enugu because of the bad road. In fact, there was the part they had to abandon ship, boarded another vehicle because the road was so terrible. Now, if you're going to Abuja using the Urumi axis, that road too is terrible.
And that money they're talking about to use, 600, how much?
70 million for Emia's cars.
For Emia's cars. So that money cannot fix that road and make it more
trouble. But the Emia's cars, Emia is in Kano. The roads are in Auchi, that is Edo State and the rest of it all.
Oh, okay. It's not a federal budget.
No.
It's a state budget.
Yeah, that 670 is Kano government direct local government to release 670 for Emia's Sanusi's car. And they have 2 Emias there in Kano now.
And then
so if you give 670 to Sanusi, you definitely give 670 to Bayero too.
That's it now. And then what's the name of this young guy? The El-Rufai's son in the House of Representatives that came out the other day and was challenging the members of the House. So all these things that you keep repeating every year, I want to ask, because that's where I'm going with the question. So those Emias, they don't have cars, they've been working, and now you want to provide cars. And then when they, got them initiated or installed, there was no car. So this idea of changing cars every year, well, that guy was, you buy cutleries every year. That's budget for new cutleries every year, budget for cars, for furniture,
so
for
then
clothes,
what do they do
for
with
everything.
Salary?
So you don't know which salary. No, nobody's even talking about that, but this is the way they suck the society. They suck the Nigerian taxpayers, okay? You use their money to renew what you do. And the guy was asking them, the cars you bought last year, have they expired? Those cars expired, okay? The cutleries you bought last year, have they expired? So why must we see this kind of thing in the budget when Nigerians are suffering? Look at 1 million children facing hunger, and you are changing cutleries every year. Who are you guys talking to? Who? I don't understand. When have you grown this kind of insensitive that you don't care what's going on as long as you are satisfied, okay? You are well taken care of. You get what you want in government. You don't care. Well, some of you don't even have homes. If you don't care, no problem, don't come, don't care. You will live in Abuja, you will die in Abuja, they will bury you in Abuja because your homes, you have lost it. Because you are here chasing your private money, you don't care what's going on in your most of you have lost your, your ancestral homes to Boko Haram. So look at what they're saying about, talking about insecurity.
Yeah.
What they said about...
NAS ex-generals demand urgent military rearmament. That's because the so-called non-state actors are now going sophisticated. Imagine when non-state actors are using drones to attack
Can you
villages.
imagine? Do you know what
using
I kept
drones
asking?
for surveillance.
No, what I kept asking as an individual, not as a presenter now, okay? All these Boko Haram guys, all these guys that just these marauders that use ordinary bike to drive into a big nation like Nigeria and be harassing them and sacking people from their ancestral home. Don't you have fighter jets? Can't you take them off from air? Don't you have intelligence again? Where are the DSS? Where are the SSS? Can't we just fly two fighter jets on air and clear them? They're on ground.
Like you watch in movies.
No, it's not movie. These things are practical. These guys are on ground, so take the air.
But the issue is that they've infiltrated the so-called military, the Navy, they are everywhere. When it was said during Goodluck's administration that the Boko Haram is even inside his government, people thought it was laughable. But we are saying it now.
That every arrangement you make here, they hear it before you execute it.
Because that's the problem we are having.
Then use mercenaries. If you want to fight them, use mercenaries.
It was on this same platform.
Keep your people.
It was this same platform.
Executive.
We talked about 700 and something rehabilitated Boko Harams that were to be integrated back into the military. So imagine you're now training these people and they go back with the military training.
Who approved that?
Who?
Those who have National Assembly members.
That is what you need to...
Of course, most of them, like I said, don't have ancestral homes again.
All these things fly under the radar. You only see them on the front page of paper.
We know.
You understand?
The National Assembly, can some people stand up and say, no, we can't do this because we've been doing it and we're having problems. That's why we have problem with our military intelligence. That's why we have problem with a whole lot of things that we're doing. We're just selling our soldiers to this guy for destruction.
Exactly. That's the sad thing.
Non-state actors will overrun a military command and then kill everybody there. There are these kind of stories. It's not worthy of hearing in a nation like Nigeria.
Giant of Africa. This is a country that has brought peace to so many African countries. ECOMOG with the Liberian and the Sierra Leone civil war, down as far as even Mozambique, you understand? The South African apartheid, there's nothing you talk about in this part of the world, in Africa, this continent, that Nigeria has not put in sweat and blood and resources to bring peace. And yet, we can't even bring peace to our doorstep. And that is how pathetic it is.
Because we are paying lip service to security.
Look
at what the National Assembly is saying, as if anything is going to happen, come out of this.
Well, while we're battling with insecurity and the rest of it, or food shortage and then economic inflation and the rest of it, the price of crude, which is our mainstay of economy, which was what the benchmark we used in drafting our budget, the so-called $1 trillion budget we are projecting in the next 5-10 years. I wonder how it's going to happen, because the projection of $75 per barrel has now dwindled to $60 per barrel. And now we are experts.
So how are we going to run the budget?
No, experts are saying that budget needs to be reviewed. And some other NLC is now saying more hardship awaits Nigerians because of our projection. We have failed to diversify our economy, relying solely on oil. But yet, our leaders have not tightened their belts on how to even make use of the scarce resources that we have. 37% of that same budget that we said it was not going to be enough for us is going to be borrowed to actually augment what we have. So when you sit down here, I'm not even a financial expert, but from the little I've gathered over reading the dailies, will make us understand that we are in fact, we need a miracle in this part of the world.
What kind of miracle? You're already having a very good miracle, very wonderful miracle. You know why I'm smiling?
Yeah.
That these things are just Dogon Turenchi, if you ask an Hausa man. You're just speaking English because we don't know the level that we operate in Nigeria now. We don't know when the economy improves. We don't know when it is, what is going down. Nothing, because we are down. Everybody is down, okay? when you say that economy is improving now, we don't know because it has not reflected in our way of life, in our everyday living.
Your purchasing power.
And then when you say it's decreasing, we don't know because it doesn't reflect. Because everything is down already. Okay, so we just keep watching the players and see how many goals you want to score.
Well, quickly let's wrap up. If you have anything to add, let's use that and wrap up. Yesterday we talked about this JAMB, massive failure in JAMB, and then you said that kids were having too many distractions. And now they are talking about stakeholders say the outcome is a wake-up call to address the decay in our education system. So how do we begin to do that? This is a country that goes abroad, win laurels, you understand, competing with the very best brains out there, winning laurels, you understand? And then when you talk about in technology, medicine, and the rest of it all, Nigerians are really pulling their weight outside the shores of this country. And most of those people were trained in this part of the world before they ventured out. But here we are having 75% failure in JAMB examinations that were conducted just last week and thereabouts. And then this calls for revamping of the educational system. The NEL fund, 18,000, I've already applied and no money. So,
okay.
I just don't.
So how are we going to revamp? How are we going to revamp when everybody is paying lip service to education? This is the outcome of what has. Look, check out the money that was budgeted for education and other things.
It's not even up to
So you did not plant anything and you are expecting a yield. Are you a knocker of the things fall apart? Of things fall apart. Until you have planted something, that's when you expect a good harvest. That's what's going on in our education sector. What do you call it? The teachers, the universities are always on strike, because nobody is attending to whatever they want. And then even the children telling you that education is a scam. That for what we are seeing, the ones that went to school, my brothers that went to school and sisters, they are here for 4 years, 5 years at home, eating, struggling with me in the house to eat, struggling with bed soap, wash soap, and a whole lot of things in the house. Still asking their mother for money to go and go and look for a job and come. So the younger ones said, education is a scam. So what else do I do? These ones are useless. I don't want to be as useless as them. We are just seeing the fruit of what we have planted in this nation. If we are ready to run this nation, then let's wake up and run it. Okay. And everything will fit in.
Well, that's the much we can take on the segment of the press review. Do join us when we come back and then continue with the discussion segment. I still remain Ajulu Chukwokagwe. Many thanks for joining us.
My name is Tijama. Do stand by.